On what the president was just talking about, the major challenge right now before his administration. Let's bring in ABC News Chief White House correspondent Cecilia Vega. She's with him out there. So, Cecilia, you know, he talks about they're doing everything they can to bring down these rising costs. A lot of this is out of a president's control. What can he do? What is he doing?
Yeah, Terry, you heard the president say this key word, that inflation right now is his administration's top economic priority. And that is very true. You also heard him kind of go down a greatest hits list in terms of everything he and the administration have done to try to tackle some of this. And it really starts with gas prices. I mean, we're here in Los Angeles right now, and the prices are just astounding, frankly, well over $6 a gallon, well above the national average, what most folks are paying. But the White House is talking about having released strategic oil reserves to try to bring down some of these prices. You've got the president there at the port of Los Angeles trying to highlight what they've done to ease some of that congestion that we saw in terms of shipping and the supply chain. But what you're hearing him hammer and hammer over again is the messaging that he is blaming so much of this price hike on Vladimir Putin and the war in Ukraine in terms of what Americans are paying for energy, what Americans are paying for gas. Terry, you and I know this, though. Americans are not blaming Vladimir Putin for the high prices that they're paying here in Los Angeles and around the country at the pump. They're blaming Washington, and they are specifically blaming, according to the polls, the president right now. You said this. So much of this really is out of the president's hand. He is looking to the Fed to bring down interest rates. The Fed is an independent body. They seem poised to bring down interest rates. Again, that is their job to really tackle inflation. But the reality is, and this is a really tough one, Terry, Americans around this country need to be prepared to continue to pay these higher prices for some time to come. That's the tough reality. And particularly, this is hitting black and brown families in this country even more, lower income families even more, because they are the ones who have to pay more out of pocket for these everyday necessities that just are cost so much more right now. Food, gas, car repairs, all of that.
And it is demoralizing for families who are trying to live within their budget to see the prices going up week after week after week. And calling it, as you point out, Putin's price hike, it sounds like something a political consultant cooked up. I'm not sure that people are going to buy that. But I want to ask, what happens politically now? President Biden's approval rating slowly trending downward really for a while now. He's way underwater, according to 538. What are you hearing from the White House? Are they panicking about this? What can be done to win back some measure of approval from Americans on the way he's doing his job?
Yeah, make no mistake, there is a growing sense of frustration inside the White House about the politics of this. They are keenly aware of the polling out there. They are keenly aware of the calendar. Those midterms are not that far away, and they know that Americans are blaming the White House, this administration, for the prices that they are paying right now. And they are also keenly aware of the drumbeat, the steady drumbeat that is coming from the other side of the aisle on Republicans looking very eagerly to tie these high prices to this administration. What you saw today is a good example of the messaging that you're going to hear from this White House. You've got the president trying to shift the narrative to show Americans what he has done, while also trying to convey this message that so much of this is out of his control. You hear him trying to turn the table a little bit and focus on Congress. He wants Congress to pass legislation that will lower things like prescription drug pricing, that will lower things like energy bills. That's not specific to the inflation numbers, but what he is hoping is that if you can bring down some of the costs on these other high-priced items like prescription drugs, that will help offset the money that Americans are paying when they go to the store for everyday goods. But Terry, make no mistake, they are feeling this. The president is frustrated by this, and those midterms are not that far away.
And you know, that is a hard line to walk, the one you just described, Cecilia. It's not my fault, but I'm doing everything I can to get on top of it and to finally get some kind of political credit for it. It'll probably take for these prices to come down some. But I want to talk about what he's there for, and you're there to cover. Later this afternoon, the president's going to join other Western Hemisphere leaders, the Summit of the Americas, that's what's happening there, to adopt a migration declaration. Now, that sounds important. The biggest issue in our hemisphere, in some ways, is migration. What can you tell us about this deal?
Yeah, exactly. So you've got the White House here is the host of this summit that is taking place with leaders from around Latin America, around the Caribbean, around North America, frankly, in general, trying to come together to tackle this issue of migration and really try to get behind some economic policies that will help countries on the southern side of the border ease some of the flow north. So they are announcing some pretty big things today. We expect the White House to announce a big sting operation that's going to tackle, attempt to tackle anyway, human trafficking. There's a big push right now to help Haitians and Cubans who are in the United States legally try to bring more family members from those countries that are hurting so badly right now. And also a real big push to help seasonal migrant workers come do some work here and then head back across the border to ease that process for them to come to this country. But Terry, we've been talking about this, and I have to say it again, the drama that is overshadowing this conference, and it is a very important conference, really has been that invitation list. The White House didn't invite, again, Cuba, Nicaragua, Venezuela for issues that they have, the administration has with those governments. That prompted countries like Mexico to refuse to come. You've got those countries from the Northern Triangle, El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras, where most of the migrants are coming from, are not here either. Yet the White House says, look, they were able to come to terms of reach terms on an agreement on this migration deal with the lower level aids from those countries, despite the leaders not being here. But really, they did not want this drama, and that is the big headline that they got out of this conference this week, Terry.
Yeah. You know, Cecilia, as you know, every president goes through tough patches. Looks like Biden's in one right now, and you're there to cover it. Cecilia, thanks very much.
Hi everyone, George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.